All right, and we are live. Welcome, brothers, to another show. Right now, we are doing the Sunday rundown, which is basically a weekly recap of current events, travel news, and group updates. Man, as some of you already know, I'm in the beautiful city of Medellin, Colombia, where we are on a fourth weekend of curfews and lockdown. So it's a little tough out here, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. On this one right here, bro, we're gonna give you a lot of travel news, a lot of updates, man, about PCR tests, what the CDC said about traveling in and out the United States. So this is a very important show right here, guys. If you want to be up to date on the current travel news with all this coronavirus thing going on right now. But first and foremost, let me give a shout out to the Black Men Travels Facebook group. Let me go ahead and pull that up on the screen. Young Jay, what's going on? Young Jay 216 in the building. All right, fellas. So the Black Men Travels Facebook group, fellas, has been off the chain lately, man. If you haven't already joined, make sure you check out the Black Men Travels Facebook group, where we put a lot of vital information in for the group. Shout out to my brother Cardell Beasley, also, who's been doing the admin, doing a great job out here doing the admin for the Black Men Travels Facebook group, man. It's some work. It's definitely a job. At Black Men Travels, man, the purpose of us creating this group is really not only for the news and the travel news update, stuff like that, but it's also the network. We had a post from one guy who was like, okay, some of the questions are being repetitive. You know, they answer these questions all the time, but that's okay. There are no dumb questions in Black Men Travels Facebook group, bro. Ask your questions, man. A lot of guys are newbie travelers, not really sure of what country they want to go to. So get the information. This is a very informative group, man. Look at it as a information platform, basically, when you want to ask different brothers, veteran travelers, questions about some of these countries that you want to go to. All right. So shout out to Cardell. Shout out to my boy Micavelli too, man. You know, Black Men Travels is just not me. I'm the face of it. But we got a lot of brothers working behind the scenes in the background, man, doing videos, recording videos for your boy and everything, man. So I just want to shout out to them brothers as well. Also, I want to welcome all the new members of the group. Guys, you've joined a Facebook group that could possibly change your life if you take advantage of the information that's being given in this Facebook group, man. Right now, the group is growing. We have like 4,400 new members, members rather, and we're constantly growing every day. Funny thing is, we do have a lot of women trying to infiltrate the group for some odd reason. It's called Black Men Travels. We're going to keep it the way it is. I want to say this real quick, and we're going to go on to the news once a few more people come in the room. It's okay for Black men to have their own spaces, okay? You know, we have this illusion of inclusion, right, where everything is just, you know, multicultural and welcoming everybody in. And that's cool. You know, as a group of men, we're very welcoming to, you know, outside groups of people. But we also have to keep in mind that, man, other groups of men have their little private country clubs, okay, where they let one black guy in every 10 years and say, see, we're not discriminating. We let this one black guy in. So it's okay, you know, for men of color to also have their own little associations and groups as well, man. That's just the way of the world. So I don't want guys to feel guilty or anything like that about, you know, transferring information in the group. We're going to keep it strictly for Black men because that's what it was created for. All right. I'm not going to let any women in the group. And guys, if you're married or your girl stay with you, man, close out the Facebook browser, bro. Because me and Cardell, we get so many women trying to get in the group lately. And we trying to figure it out. Like, are these women just trying to get in the group? They're trying to infiltrate the group, you know, because it's kind of like a locker room. Not sure why, you know, women are trying to join the group. But every day, like, for instance, today, you know, I was trying to welcome some new members in the group, but I declined them by mistake because there was so many women. And I hit the decline button for all of them. So, guys, if you did try to get in the group, try again. You know, that was my mistake. Go ahead and send another request to join the group. And we're going to get this thing popping, man. Let's check out the chat. Young J 216 in the building. He says, what's up, fam? We already got 29 in the room. That's what's up. Young J 216 says, why even tell women about the group? It's called Black Men Travels. Drew Sato, what's up, brothers? Yeah, I'm not really sure what's piquing a lot of people's interest if we're trying to enter a private group. But that's what's going on right now. You know, the group is growing and is growing. And we also have a lot of Facebook monitoring as well. So guys, when you post these, you know, pictures and groups, we can't let everything come in because we don't want to get the group banned or shut down. So we have to monitor. I know I get guys all the time who hit me up like, hey man, why you didn't let my post go through? Well, brothers, unfortunately, you know, we can't show everything that we would like to show. And once again, we're still being monitored by Facebook. And so until we get our own separate platform, whether it be an app or whether it be a community on a website, we still got to kind of keep it PG, you know, unfortunately, because I know a lot of guys want to go, you know, all holds barred with the photos and the videos that they're showing, but we can't just let everything do because it is a very powerful group, right? We got millionaires in the group. We got guys in Forex in the group. We got crypto guys in the group. We got veteran travelers like my brother who's Strackman in the group. That's been all over the world. So, you know, we want to keep this group going, but until we start to get our separate app, we got to be kind of careful on what we post. Drew said, oh, right now it's not a WhatsApp group, brother. Right now it's just a Facebook group and a YouTube channel and a Black Men Travels website as well. All right, so we got 33 in the room. King Lou says, can't wait for Colombia. Be the first time. Thanks for the info you've given us, brother. It's really helpful, especially for first time traveling. That is really needed. And it is really needed, man. I see guys out here all the time that be just lost in the sauce. And, you know, a lot of brothers do get information in a group, but it's one thing to get information and it's another thing to actually connect with guys that's been living here or know how to move out here or, you know, been around, you know, for a while. You know, new travelers, man, you know, like I say, it's not difficult to navigate around Medellin, Colombia. It's very tourist friendly, but you still want to know, you know, or connect with some brothers if you can, you know, that can show you how to move, especially with all these lockdowns and shutdowns, bros. I mean, right now, this is like I said, the 4th weekend that we've been shut down. And it is difficult. Give me a second, fellas. Hold on. All right. It is difficult, man, you know, being cooped up in the house on these weekends. There are parties going on, what they call finca parties. So guys are still, you know, partying, networking, doing their thing out here. But right now, and we're going to go ahead and get into the meat of this video right now when it comes to the travel news and travel updates. It seems like every weekend they shutting it down. Now, previously, the last weekends, it's been holidays. So what the Colombian government does is they don't want a lot of people grouping up in one location and spreading the virus. So they shut down a lot of the clubs and a lot of the bars pretty much every weekend. So Halloween weekend, Christmas weekend, the New Year weekend, and now this weekend. I'm not sure it's even a holiday. And they're going to be doing this, I think, possibly, fellas, until February 28th, from what I'm hearing. You know, what they're trying to do is not to collapse the healthcare system because you do have a lot of people being affected by the coronavirus, unfortunately, and a lot of hospitals are at its max capacity. The fortunate thing is the healthcare in Colombia is very good, fellas. I mean, you have probably the top 10 hospitals in South America right here in Colombia, which is a good thing. So, you know, the retention rate, the survival rate for corona is like super high. But I guess it's still people getting sick right now. We're not going to really go into the logistics of who's being affected or people are dying from coronavirus in this video. But I just want to give you guys some travel news update. Now, as some of you already know, some of you might not know, that starting January 26th, fellas, the U.S. has executed a mandatory PCR test to enter the country. Now, you're going to also probably more unlikely, unless you're going to Mexico, because Mexico is the only country that I know right now that's not requiring a PCR test, okay? Out of the 42 countries that we can travel to right now, fellas, 40 of them are requiring PCR tests, including America. So what that means is after January 26th, whatever country that you're going to be in, you're going to need a 72-hour PCR test to enter the United States or possibly be faced with a quarantine. Now, if you're leaving and you come into Colombia, you're going to need a 96-hour PCR test as well. So, fellas, what I did was we did an article, right, in blackmentravels.com. So if you're down here in Colombia, you can check out the article where to get your PCR test. Is in the description right now. If you're going to be out here, within that little February 28th or before March, you're going to have to get a PCR test before you get into America. Basically, you got to take a PCR test here. All right. So we have the resources in that article, blackmentravels.com. Like I say, it's in the description. If you guys want to find out where to get PCR tests. And the PCR tests are around from average about 270,000 pesos, which translates to be about that's about 270. It's like $60-$70. So it's not super expensive because in the States, if you don't have insurance, PCR tests can run you almost up to $200-$300 depending on how fast you get the results in. But here the test is about, I think that's like $55 to $65. So it's not bad. Let me check on the chat real quick. And we're going to get the flowing. Jonah Anderson gives me a thumbs up. That's what's up, brother. Young J216 says, considering moving to the DR in 2 years, going to do this real estate game this year down there. Guys, if you're looking at real estate in the DR, you got to be very careful. Holla at my man Cardale in the group, man. He's very willing to give you guys information about purchasing real estate in the DR. He had a really good live video in the group about deals in the DR right now. I believe some I believe some banks are welcoming U.S. citizens, which means they will give you guys loans to get these villas and whatever you want out there. The financing in the DR can be a little tricky, but it can be done. So if you guys want to interested in purchasing in real estate, man, holla at my man Cardale, man. You got TaylorMade out there as well. But make sure you do your due diligence and your research, guys. And any deals you do overseas, you know what I'm saying? You got to really, in these countries, things are not as concrete because in America, if something goes wrong, you can just sue. And the guys would be forced to pay you lump sums of money. In these foreign countries, I hear it all the time, things don't work out. You can't really look for the government to back you up because you're an outsider. All right. Let's get to the news. We got Global Paper, who always says Brazil or die. Okay, we got 61 in the room. That's what's up, fellas. Hit that like button when you get in. So right now, fellas, like I said, Colombia is on its fourth curfew on the weekend, man. This possibly could be going on to February 28th. So basically what Colombia has going on with the government is they calling it selective restrictions, right? Which means that, some businesses will be open, but most of the unessential businesses will be closed. And which means clubs and bars and late night lounges, stuff like that, unfortunately, will be closed on the weekends. It opens back up. They're doing it from like Friday to like Tuesday. And also they've started the I think it's called Pico e Cedula, which is in English, peek at your ID, basically. All that means is if you have a passport ending on an even number, that means you can go to grocery stores and malls only on those even number days. So, for instance, if your passport number happens to end in a 2 or a 4, that means you will be able to shop on a Tuesday or Thursday or a Saturday, something like that. So some of these, spots, they're not really checking like that. They kind of let you on in if it's not like really crowded, especially if it's early during the day. They're not really, checking your IDs like that. But if you go into the mall or you're going somewhere, you might want to have a copy of your passport, fellas, okay? Or a copy of your driver's license for the security to show them that, you can go ahead and enter. Now, I will say this. I want to cover this real quick, fellas. I had a situation a few nights ago where we were walking back to one of my friends' hostels, and one of the brothers didn't have a mask on, right? Now, we all had our mask on, and we were walking through like this little pathway to get to the hostel, and it was some motor cops right there, and they pretty much stopped everybody who didn't have a mask on, and they asked for IDs, your passport, stuff like that. Now, fortunately, the brother who didn't have a mask on was living in Mexico for like 10 years, and he spoke Spanish fluently. Like anybody that learns Spanish in Mexico, you already know that you really speaking Spanish super fast, super rapid, right? Rapido. So the cops were kind of messing with him, and I'm not really getting into the details because I don't want to broadcast, any of the country's dirty business like that. But they tried to fine him, a substantial amount for not having a mask on. He was able to, get through it, but all that being said, it's not worth the hassle, man. If you're rolling around here and it's around the curfew time, just have your mask on, man. Have 2, have 3 in your pocket just in case you leave one at a restaurant. Guys are constantly dropping them on the ground. I know I leave my mask at the restaurant sometimes, but I also have another mask. So especially around the police out here, especially if you're a foreigner, have your mask on, okay? No matter where you at, because they will pull you to the side. For the most part, they're going to just say, pull your mask up or put your mask on. But, this is South America. And if you guys have any experiences with the police in South America, you want to follow all the rules and laws of the land, okay? You know what I mean? It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like being pulled over by the police in the States where you worried about getting shot or killed. It wasn't like that, fellas. But they did mess with the brother a little bit. Like I said, he spoke Spanish with him, and at the end of the day, they started laughing and everything. Like, hey, man, you got to have a mask, this, that, and the other. So note to self, man, just have your mask on, guys. All right, let's get to the chat real quick. Fred Moore Jr. says, what's happening, BMT? What's going on, Fred Moore Jr.? Mike C said, damn. Excuse me, fellas. I think that's the ITBC. Oh, excuse me. International Bastards Club. Says, I'm new here, fellas, but I travel often. Okay. That's what's up. I think that's all he said. Okay. Fire World Class Hustler says, I'm traveling after April. That's actually not a bad idea, brother. Let me get some water real quick, fellas. Hold on. Good morning. All right. All right. We are back. All right. My brother Charles Jones in the building. What's happening with you, Charles Jones? Global Paper says, make sure you have a PCR exam. Otherwise, you would not be able to board the plane. That's very true. So I will say this, fellas. Right now, if you do plan on coming to Colombia, I would suggest that you try to plan around the holidays. Most of the times we try to Colombia has different holidays. It has a whole bunch of holidays in comparison to America, right? But it seems like they're shutting down the city every holiday. So if you do your research, man, you check out on your websites or you Google the Colombian holidays, try to plan your travel around the holidays if you can, man, because the government is pretty much shutting down every holiday they have here, at least until February 28th right now. All right. But yeah, man, we got Lamar in the building. He says, I'm new here. So far, so good. I will follow. Good stuff. Ex-Fat Boy Lifestyle. That's a hell of a name, Ex-Fat Boy Lifestyle. He says, Mexican police roll around with AR-15s and move like the mob. They are just like American police to me, and I will want money from you if they pull you over. Well, we weren't talking about Mexico. We're talking about Colombia, brother. But I feel what you're saying, though. MJ Hines III says, yeah, I'm going to wait until April or May to go back to Medellin. So, yeah, fellas, things are still good here. Like during the week, you still can have a good time. You still can go out. A lot of bars, unfortunately, are closed and parquilleries. The vibe here is when things like lighten up, the streets are packed. The streets are full. The people here are still handling it pretty well, in my opinion. Everybody's still nice. Everybody's still cordial. I think the coronavirus, man, has really did a lot of damage to economies all around the world. Right now, you definitely got to be careful out here, man. You know, people are hurting, in all over the world, not just South America. So you want to be mindful of that. And I know a lot of Americans, we're getting stimulus, we're getting paychecks from the government, stuff like that. But every country doesn't have that, guys. So you just want to keep that in mind, especially if you decide to travel now. Now, people ask me all the time, "Hey, man, should I go ahead and continue with my trip?" I'm gonna suggest, go ahead and continue with your trip. Just make sure you have the most current travel news and updates. Check your resources, Google, specific websites. Unfortunately, the news in Colombia comes very late. They do things at kind of like the last minute, so it's hard for me to kind of give you guys updates consistently because Colombia will, they will do a shutdown and they will retract it. Like at one point, they had banned people from Europe, and from other countries, and then they retracted that like 4 hours later. So the news here, man, like I said, the government is going back and forth with the health minister and the judges. You got a president that wants to keep the country open, and you got some guys who want to keep the country closed. You got to understand that Colombia actually had like the longest lockdown than any other country in the world. So they're being very careful and very cautious with this coronavirus out here, folks. Mike C. Mike C says he would rather give them the money to get out of the situation than to have a knee on my neck. Yeah, I don't want to really, get too, we kind of save that type of news for the Facebook group where it's more of a private. I'm not going to try to, all I can say is the police, man, especially in Colombia, unless you speak fluent Spanish, I would say go with the flow. They're not going to, beat you up or shoot you or anything like that out here, man. It's kind of like a friendly shakedown if they feel like you did something wrong or you was, violating something or a curfew. In my opinion, I suggest guys be back home where they need to be before the curfew even there. If the curfew is at 8 o'clock, I suggest you start heading back to the house around 7:30. Now, I do know guys that be hanging out all night still, and they don't have any problems, but I don't suggest it. Some of these guys are veteran travelers. They've been out here for a while. And they're hanging with locals, so they know how to move, and a lot of locals know the police officers. So that's different. But if you're a newbie traveler, I would suggest, either coming after February 28th or linking up with some guys that's been out here for a while that know how to move within these curfews and these restrictions. Because it's still going on out here. I'm going to be honest with you. People are still having finca parties, which are ranch parties. They're still inviting, the beautiful women over to have fun. So it's still partying, it's still, fiestas going on, stuff like that, man. But if it's your first time or if you just really want to have a good time, I would suggest maybe possibly coming in March, April, something like that. Hopefully, Corona or Colombia government will get this Corona, handled, things that fade out and get back to somewhat of a normal, so, we will see. But if you already have a trip booked, I suggest, you can make that decision. I still believe they're doing new flight changes and stuff like that for free. So you'll be able to change the flight. But you still want to do your due diligence and checking for all the travel updates. I'm talking about even when you're in the airport, fellas, check for travel updates, regardless. No matter what you heard, even if you heard from a local out here, even if you heard from your girl out here, check these websites. Even if it's not on the U.S. Embassy website, try to get as many resources as possible. Ask the question in the group. Hey, are we still able to come out there? Are there any curfews? Are there any shutdowns? PCR test mandatory? Or is there any quarantines? I'm talking about all the way up until you get into the plane, because these guys will drop new restrictions on you in a heartbeat in Colombia. Okay, so yeah, man. Also, guys, when you're going through customs in Colombia, don't do any recording. I know a lot of guys try to vlog or anything like that. Things are a little touchy going through the airport right now. Don't be trying to wave down your Uber or anything like that. Be mindful of the airport. Uber is illegal. Be mindful when you're walking through customs not to be recording anything like that. Because I did hear of a situation where a guy was recording coming through customs and they told me he couldn't enter the country because videotaping is not allowed. Once again, Uber is illegal in Colombia. So if you do decide to get an Uber at the airport, keep in mind that you're going to have to walk and be a little discreet with it. Don't get in your Uber right in front of the police, because the Uber drivers can get their license taken for picking you up at the train station. I mean, not train station, but at the airport. Let me get to these comments. Let me read this. He landed and got finessed by the first girl he linked out in Colombia, but wants to talk game. I'm not sure what that. Okay. All right, we got a troll. We got a little troll in the building. Let me go ahead and get rid of him. Get you on up out of here, brother. I know he asked to join a group, but okay. Black right route. I haven't heard that. Yeah, he said is Uber legal now. Once again, man, they changed things very quickly here in Colombia, guys. So it might be legal. I know they shut down Uber Eats maybe about a month ago. And as far as I know, Uber is still illegal. So you might want to double, triple check that before you confirm that. Okay. All right, Charles. I'm not going to post that, brother. All right. Good question, Cocolo TV. How is the real estate? The real estate, it's a lot of opportunities in the real estate market out here in Medellin, Colombia. I just talked to her brother yesterday, my bro Rob. He has a bar out here. He has a sky roof night lounge out there. I believe it's called Vibes. It's shut down right now because of all the restrictions, but it'll be open back soon. I'm going to funnel a lot of guys there because the brother owns, a little club out here. And guys, if you want apartments or villas and everything, it's a lot of opportunities out here in Medellin right now, man, because of the coronavirus. So just keep that in mind that, like I said earlier in the show, guys, you want to do due diligence in investing in anything, anywhere in the world. But specifically, if you're investing overseas, you definitely want to do your due diligence, guys. Okay, we got what's good, King. If you could retract, what would you have to stay in Brazil instead of Colombia? You know what, man? Honestly speaking, brother, I love Brazil and I love Colombia as well, man. The infrastructure is really good out here in Colombia, man. The people are really laid back. It's a cool little vibe. It's just a lot of restrictions. I believe Brazil is wide open last time I checked. My brother Dennis John Pierre said that Brazil is wide open. So I would like to travel to Brazil. I probably will be traveling to Brazil this year. But right now, I'm just stomped down in Colombia. All right. Good question, Young J216. He says, do you think it's smart to invest buying or renting an apartment or villa at this time overseas with the pandemic? I think it's a great time to buy, Young J, when the market is down right now and the economies are hurting. This is probably one of the better times to invest in some type of real estate because, in my opinion, Corona's not going to last forever, okay? Just like you could have got into Tesla or invested in stocks when they were down, real estate's down right now pretty much worldwide, in my opinion, from what I can see. And I talked to a Colombian realtor that spoke English in Medellin about 2 weeks ago, and he was explaining to me that it's a lot of real estate opportunities in Medellin right now. So as far as the Dominican Republic, if you have the right network, like I say, you holler at my man Cardell, it's always going to be real estate opportunities in the DR. So, yeah, man, this is a good time to buy, in my opinion. Hot Furnace in the building. He said, shout out to you, blackmentravels. Are they saying anything if tourists have gotten the vaccine, if the tourists still need to bring a negative PCR test? Yeah, I covered that earlier, brother. Yeah, you do have to show a negative PCR test. After January 26th, you're going to need one. More likely leaving the country because your destination country going to need one, and entering back into the United States. Now, there are rumors that the United States probably might retract the PCR test coming into the States, but that's just rumors right now. If you don't have a PCR test, they're saying they might start like a 7-day or 14-day quarantine in the United States. That's been in the rumor mill as well. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, right now, after January 26th, you're going to definitely need a PCR test. 72 hours coming into the States. If you come into Colombia, you're going to need a 96-hour PCR test. Now, keep in mind that They retract these PCR tests. They start them back again. They go back and forth all the time. You know, some brothers just got here. They didn't need a PCR test, but a few weeks ago, you did need a PCR test. So, like I say, guys, you know, keep abreast of the news. If you have any questions, post it in the Black Men Travels Facebook group, because you got guys in Colombia right now or who are on the way to Colombia, and they can give you some news as well. Shout out to Curtis23. He says, thank you for creating this channel. You inspired me to blow loads in Colombia and the DR. Then your channel lead me to the other brothers' channels. Yeah, appreciate that. No problem, Curtis23. Yeah, man. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, man. Shout out to Kevin Samuels as well. We got David in the building. He says, what's up, BMT? Let me roll through some of these comments real quick, fellas. But yeah, guys, that's just to sum up the show, guys. Like I said, if you are here, if you do plan on coming to Colombia, you can check out the article in the description, and I'll tell you, you know, where you can go get your PCR test here. Like I said before, it's about $55 to $65, so it's not bad. You're going to need it. The good thing about taking the PCR test, if you go to the right clinic, and there's different clinics within the article, if you go to the right clinic, they will have your results within 48 hours. That give you enough time, you know, to get to the States and go to the airport. Colombia is only about a 5-hour plane ride from Medellin back to the United States. So you should be able to have it within that time. And you should be able to show it on your phone as well. I'm not sure if they're giving you a paper copy at the clinic, but they're going to show you an email. You just show the customs agents or I'm sorry, not the customs agents, but the people in the airport, the airline, your PCR test. Shout out to Gary Mack for the $4.99 super chat. He says, good job, good info. You the man, man. Appreciate that, brother Gary Mack. But yeah, fellas, we got so many videos coming out in the next few weeks, man. We've been all over Medellin, Colombia, man. So you can watch these videos, get informed. It's a lot of really cool things to do in Medellin, Colombia, bro. You know, it's not all about parquilleres. The cable cars are cool. Community 13 is great. The tours, it's all types of different tours and destinations you can go to in Medellin, Colombia. I want you guys to keep that in mind. If you can, already have something planned, man. Already have an agenda when you come. Because like I say, I see new travelers all the time. When they get out here, they really don't know what to do. They really don't know about the restrictions or anything like that. So if you got something planned, man, you know, the Community 13 tour, by far to me, is one of the better tours. If you touch down here, you can go to Airbnb. You can email me. Guys, you can email me at blackmentravels@gmail.com, by the way. I see a lot of messages coming through Facebook. They put the message, if you're not in my friend list, they put the messages somewhere else, and I really checked that. So if you got to contact me, man, make sure you just email me at blackmentravels@gmail.com, fellas, and I will get back with you. If you have any questions at all, hit your boy up. I don't mind answering the questions at all. I'm going to get back with you in a day or two once I check the email. We got another super chat from Young J216. Says, been supporting from the jump. Blessings. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. The NIGGA says, Aaron Ferris, will you eventually buy property in Colombia? It's a large possibility that I will, brother. The apartments are very reasonable out here. Right now, I'm just traveling the world, man. You know, I'm not sure if it's going to be in Dominican Republic, Colombia, or Brazil. These my little triangle countries that I love to frequent. So more likely, it's probably going to be in Brazil, and maybe possibly a property in DR as well, man. But yeah, guys, also check out my brother's channel, Brands You Around the World, for real estate. That brother is always dropping game on new real estate opportunities in Panama, Dominican Republic, and specifically in Colombia and Cartagena, stuff like that. So check his channel out, man. Brands You Around the World, brothers. Hot Furnish. Yeah, we got that on the way too, brother. He asked, will you interview a local woman that's looking to date Americans? A lot of women are looking to date Americans, bro. But yeah, most definitely. I'll get an English speaker out, Latina, to come on the show and tell you what she's looking for. with an American guy as well. That's a good question. Sebastian Cornwell just asked, my man, are they making you take vaccine shots to travel? Not yet. Okay. Not yet. I didn't get a super chat yet, Hot Furnace. I didn't get it. So, fellas, I want to touch on this subject right here. Right now, like I said, we got a lot of black men traveling the world, which is excellent. I love it, man. I get a lot of brothers, a lot of emails from brothers say, hey, man, I want to appreciate you because you got my passport. I started traveling. It changed my life. And, I love to hear stories like that, man. I love to see brothers traveling the world. I love to see brothers in these countries. We chop it up, we link up, we hang out, we have a good time. And it's great, bro. It's great. And 95% of the brothers I meet are on code, but recently we had a video on World Star Hip Hop, and I was getting messages from everybody saying, hey, man, checking my head, Cartagena's on World Star Hip Hop. Unfortunately, you're going to always have some brothers that's going to be off code and will throw other brothers on the bus or will put out information that doesn't really need to be out there. That doesn't really need to be said in hopes of getting views, of building up their YouTube channels. And a lot of times those YouTube channels don't even last. People ban them, stuff like that. And like I said, I didn't really click on the video about the brother being in car. I think it was a brother. He didn't show his face. He had the audio, being disguised. And, he was just pretty much telling what a lot of people already know. And I didn't like it personally. That's why I didn't click on the video. A lot of brothers didn't like it, and I don't know what he saw that he was going to gain from that, besides views and maybe subscriptions. But it's not really a good look to go to these countries and just put all their business out there like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just off code. It just don't look good. A lot of brothers, like I said, a lot of brothers email me upset that they kind of blowing up the spot, stuff like that, man. It is what it is. You're going to always have brothers off code who only see their own success, right? They're not thinking like a boss. They're not thinking like a CEO where everybody can come up. You're giving the information to people to, help them in their travels. It's more of a selfish endeavor, basically, for the guy who made that video. I think he only has like 1,000 subscribers. So it is what it is, man. We gotta, basically, shop. Yeah, it's not good at all. And I try to talk to brothers about stuff like that, man. Like, hey, man, when you go to these foreign countries, just blend in, be low key, man. Don't put people on blast. Don't throw money in the clubs. Don't get into it with the locals, nothing like that. Just relax and have a good time, man. You don't got to be blowing up the spot. You don't got to be airing out, these countries' dirty business or anything like that, man. Just keep it low key. Enjoy yourself. Travel the world, and like I say, just enjoy, fellas. You don't gotta try to be, undercover exposure and all that stuff, man. It's whack, in my opinion. A lot of brothers don't like it. Hopefully the brother who made that video that got posted to World Star see this video. Stock market guy in the building. He says, man, I can't wait to get the hell out of the U.S. This place is a mess. I want a second passport as well. You can get a second passport, guys. I know a few guys that got second passports. Now, to go around that, you can find different countries that will issue a passport, and give you citizenship. It's kind of a tricky subject, but we're going to discuss that on one of the shows, maybe next week sometime, of how to get an additional passport. King Luke, he says, a wrap for sisters in America. A lot of brothers now want to travel. Stephen F., this is a good question. He says, when do you think Colombia will be fully open again? Right now, hopefully, guys, it's going to be February 28th. After February 28th, we are in selective restrictions until then. So right now, a lot of the hospitals at full capacity. They don't want to collapse the healthcare system. So that's why they're trying to limit the exposure of people catching the coronavirus. So that's why they're having all these restrictions, like every weekend and every holiday. So right now, hopefully, I suggest, unless you know how to move, like I said earlier, maybe booking your trip after February 28th. That might be a safer bet. But they could come in with new restrictions after February 28th. We don't know. We're not sure at this point. All right. Farrell World Class Hustler says, I'm going to try to get citizenship from Germany, Ghana, and probably Colombia. Like I said, guys, there are different ways to get a second passport. Being an international black man is powerful. Linking up with other international black men is powerful, bro. It's so much information that we did not have maybe just years ago, maybe even months ago. But when you access the group, you join the membership, and you start seeing brothers with passports from different countries, which means that if things get heavy in America, you can still get out. Okay. You got guys with, crypto portfolios, stock portfolios, all giving you game within the Black Man's Travels Facebook group, man, giving you guys information. You want to be a renowned international black man of reform and travel, bro. You want to be able to say, it's getting hot over here in America. I'm going to vamp out to Colombia for a few months, or I'm going to vamp out to Rio for a few months. I'm going to vamp out to DR for a few weeks. You want to have that option because that makes you more powerful. You have more tools in your toolbox right now when you have an additional passport, bro. Especially when you got a passport, you got some crypto. Right now, you really are moving off the grid a little bit here, fellas. And that's important when a black man, to be able to move without everybody being all in your business. You get me? The ITBC International Bachelors Club. I'm going to show the group again, brother. Let me go right here. Black Men Travels Facebook group. So, yeah, just send a friend request, bro. Request the group, join the membership, and we'll get you on up in there. My brother Dennis John Pierre in the building. He says, when you coming to Wakanda, aka Brazil? I'm gonna be there soon, bro. I'm gonna be there soon. Hot Furnace says, never renounce citizenship. You will lose money. That's for sure. All right, so fellas, that was today's Sunday rundown. Hopefully you got enough, some good vital information. Like I said, guys, right now we're being locked down in Colombia every weekend, unfortunately. A lot of the bars and a lot of spots are closed. If you decide to book a trip, make sure you know how to move. Make sure you have all your news updates. Make sure you have all your migration papers right before you even get to the airport. Just have all your ducks in a row if you decide to travel. Because I know some guys just got to get up out of the States. I get it. Myself, I had to get up out of the States for a while. That's why I'm down here in Colombia. So, guys, just make sure you do your due diligence if you decide to travel to any destination, okay? Make sure before you even get to that country that you know where to get PCR test at. Make sure you know how much it is. And keep a copy of your passport on you, a little piece of paper just in case things get sticky out here. Especially in Colombia, they want to see your ID, or if other countries might be doing the Pico e-Cedula as well. I'm not sure, but it might. So, just have all your ducks in a row if you decide to travel in the next few weeks. All right, fellas? Peace.